Good evening, fellow Tcash merchants, and welcome to our Tcash online training session today. My name is Amos, and I'll be your trainer under the session Receipts, Records, and Performance Tracking. Hapa ndio huwa tunasema that digital biashara ndio future ya biashara yako, and of course for you to stand a chance to have a business of the future, then the only thing you need to do is to involve the digital tools that are available in the world of business today. And let me tell you, tukiongea about these digital tools zenye ziko available sahi, these tools are amongst them what we are discussing today, the Tcash Soko platform. This is what the Tcash Soko is coming to do to our businesses. It's coming to bring efficiency to your business. Of course, many of the times we have had very inconsistent records. Like sometimes ukiuza when you're very busy, you don't even give receipts. At other times unapeana receipts, but you don't record your sales in the inventory. Imekuwa all inconsistent record. This is what the app is coming to do to us. It is going to, of course, help us have consistent records for our businesses, and these records are going to, of course, help us to track the performance of our shops, and not just our shops but also our employees. Imagine that. So let us journey together in the course of this session today as we learn how the app will be helping us keep the receipts, records, and of course help us track the performance of our various shops and entities. Welcome, let's journey together. I'm sharing with you my screen, na kwa screen yangu niko kwa shop yenye inajiita the Aura Baba and Salon. So that's what you have generally kwa app yako. You need to remember this always, that your Tcash Soko app iko na sides mbili. Kuna side ya personal na kuna side ya business. So when we want to view the receipts na records, hatutaziview kwa side ya personal, tutaziview kwa side ya business. Why are we viewing this kwa side ya business? Remember tulisema in our previous session, and of course the previous session is already posted on YouTube, tulisema that you can have more than one outlet. So tukisema ati receipts zinaenda kwa personal side, then it will be difficult to know this receipt is coming from which shop specifically. So therefore, for you to access the receipts, the records, and to track the performance, unafaa uende to the specific shop. For example, in my case now, niko kwa business side under the shop called the Aura Baba and Salon. Of course, kwa hii profile, home profile of the business, unapata the Tcash balance, unapata the number of Rotary tickets zenye uko nazo, the performance today unaipata pia hapo, the number of transactions zenye shop imekuwa nazo for the day, the orders, and the number of customers served as you swipe to the right. And of course hapo chini ina option ya any upcoming bookings zenye uko nazo. So then hapa chini there is the home, orders, sale, wallet, and business. So for us to view receipts for previous transactions, then I have to come to the wallet. By the wallet is what contains all the information about your transactions, because transactions zote zina involve like the money. Now wallet, just from the wallet that we know, ni place unaweka pesa. So definitely all these receipts huwa zinakuja hapo kwa wallet. So you just press the wallet. Nikiguza wallet, it brings me to this page. Kwa wallet, I'm able to see a number of things. One of them is the Tcash balance. So nitaweza kujua niko pesa ngapi hapo kwa Tcash. The next thing nitaona ni pay later. For pay later, it just gives us information about how much have we given out on pay later basis. Remember, the app allows us to give credit in the smartest possible way, the pay later way. How does that operate? Unapea mtu credit based on credit score kwa app. And of course, because there is automatic debt collection, the app is now giving you the pay later activities in your corner, the amount that is out there for you on pay later basis. But definitely remember, what we said when we were discussing earn more with pay later. We said that the pay later will be available after 4 months from now. Why? Because it ought to be available in 6 months so that the app has the correct information about the customers you have served. Just below the pay later, hapo ndio unapata all the transactions that you have done. So ukiangalia, the first one is to Diana. It is a payment. So nikiguza, you'll be able to see that this is a payment and the payment method is the Tcash Soko. And that payment is of 5 shillings and is a salary payment. So definitely hiyo inakuonyesha hivyo. Then I have the option after the 3 of them of viewing all. So nikienda kwa hiyo option ya view all, then I'm able to see all the transactions zenye hiyo shop imekuwa nazo in the course of all the month. So I can search for a specific transaction. Ukiangalia hapo kuna search option, you can search for a specific transaction yenye unataka kujua. Then there is the various categories that are under the search option. Kuna category ya all that will give you all the transactions zenye umekuwa nazo kwa hiyo shop. Then there is the Tcash Soko, hiyo ya kuonyesha what will be appearing there under the Tcash Soko ni transactions zote zenye zimelipwa na njia ya Tcash. Remember, there are 3 ways in which you can get paid. Kuna ile way ya kulipwa via cash, kuna ile ya customer na scan the Tcash Soko QR code, na kuna the third option yenye customer na kulipa na external wallet, which is the M-Pesa. So definitely zote za Tcash zitakuwa zinaapia hapo. Then za external wallet hizo ni za M-Pesa zitakuwa zinaapia hapo. Za cash, then ukiguza cash zinaapia hapo all the transactions. Like you can see for this case, all these transactions zenye zimekuwa ni transactions zote za cash. If I touch on any transaction, for example, the first one, the cash payment of 199, nikiguza hivi, then I'm able to see that this was a cash payment that was done on 28th of March 2026. I have the option of receipt hapo chini. If I view the receipt, then receipt itanionyesha a number of things. One, the date, the time, then of course the item yenye iliuzwa. Of course you can see that this was a beard trim service yenye ilikuwa ina cost 199, and of course I was paid 199. There is the service fee yenye tulisema inakuanga 1% of that value of the transaction, so which now would translate and make the amount I received to be 197.01. And of course I can state that I'm done with that. So unaweza view all receipts for all transactions. For example, ukiangalia, there is a transaction here that made a lot of money, 3,998. Nikiguza that transaction and then go to the receipt so that I can view the items, utaona that this was 2 gel pedicure, and this transaction was made on 9th of March 2026 at 8:46 p.m. So definitely unaweza ona all the transactions and the amount, and of course view the receipts. Something I would want to point out ni ati hii receipt ni receipt yenye unaweza pia tumia customer wako. For you to send this receipt to your customer, unaweza take a screenshot of them, then umtumie either via email or pia unaweza mtumia via WhatsApp or via a social media platform yenye you and that customer are in. So it is something that you can be able to do. Yes, so that is how you can be able to view all the receipts for all the transactions that your shop has done. And of course, you can see Nikona transactions are 9th all the way to 28th. And if I was to make any transactions today, I would also get receipts now appearing here. Good. Now to something else. How do these records now, hizo za receipts, hizo records zote zenye tumeona za transactions, how do they help you, of course, track your performance? So now to track your performance, unaweza trackia hapa juu kabisa on the side of the wallet. Ukiscroll pale juu, on your right hand side kuna the dollar sign. Tulisema the dollar sign there ni ile yenye ina deal na pesa za cash fee payment. So the cash fee payment, your transaction fee, unaweza view via the dollar sign yenye iko at the very top right hand side. But just besides that, kuna hiyo icon yenye inakaa ni kama graph. It's a circle that has a square inside that shows graphs. Ukiguza hiyo icon, it takes you to a screen called the sales insights. Okay, that is one way of accessing the sales insights. To access the sales insights without now going to the wallet, unaweza kuwa pia kwa home. Ukiwa kwa home, tukikuja hapa to today's performance, if I just tap on today's performance, then I'm able to also get the sales insights. So nikitap hiyo arrow yenye iko pale juu kwa today's performance, nikitap, then it takes me directly to the sales insights, and of course gives me and tells me that I can explore comprehensive reports of the sales, and of course track the performance of the shop. By so doing, make critical important decisions about my operation or the operation of my shop. So tuangalie some of these insights zenye app inakuletea. First of them is the sales overview. Nikiguza sales overview, able to see how I've been making sales in the course of the month. So one of the things yenye inakuonyesha ni the total revenue yenye umepata that month, and of course the number of transactions as you swipe to the right, and the average per transaction. For this month, this shop has not transacted, but nikienda to the month of March, the shop was very active. It transacted up to 4,447, and this was done in 6 transactions. You can see that as I swipe to the right, and the average therefore is the 741.17. So what does the average help you to do? Inakusaidia kujua transaction moja inakuanga ya how much. So based on your monthly averages. So to get this 700, they just take the total revenue, they divide by the number of transactions. Ukiangalia, it is able to give you the peak sale. Peak sales, it is the best performing day and the business time period. It is very important for you as a business person to know this, because you will ensure that you always active, or you always available on your best performing day. Hakuna siku mbaya kufunga job kama your best performing day, because during your best performing day, that is when you make most of the profit. So you're able to know that every employee must be active at this point where possible, and also you must open the shop where possible. Then the busiest time period, hiyo inatusaidia ama itakuwa inatusaidia as business people kujua like the times we can give our employees lunch off and such kind of things based on the busiest time period, because kama busiest time period yako ni between say 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. huwezi pea watu time ya kwenda lunch at that hour. But kama busiest time period yako ni between say 5 to 6, una expect everybody akuwe ameketi ana serve customers, because definitely the goal is to ensure that we maximize on the profits that we make. So ukiangalia hapo chini, it still gives you the trends of the sales for the last 6 months. You can see that for the month of March, February, January, December, all the way to October. So inakupea for 6 months. Unaweza kujua which month did I make majority of the sales. So the app will be guiding you. What does this mean? That you just remove all the normal, all the traditional books and pens zenye tumekuwa tukijaribu kutrack nazo performance, because we'll be able to view the performance over time based on the insights of this app. For the longest time, I was trying to ask myself, how do supermarkets know that this item is selling more than this? Only for me to realize kumbe wanatumia such a system. So this system makes us now or transforms our businesses from behaving just like kiosks to behaving like now entities that are well established kama a supermarket, because of the digital tool that is being brought to us. Ukiangalia, there is also something on online orders. Inaweza kuonyesha a summary of the month, each and every month. Unaweza ona how many orders, the cost of orders, and how many orders zenye umekuwa nazo, and of course the average per order. Inakupea a summary of ni vitu ngapi umekuwa ukiuza online versus zenye umekuwa ukiuza store, and for orders itakuwa inakuonyesha how many are completed, how many are pending, and how many have been cancelled. And of course the fulfillment. Ni watu wangapi waliamua wapelekee delivery, ni watu wangapi waliamua wapee pickup. And of course, you are able to see that. One of the things I would wish to mention hapa, under online orders and online orders fulfillment, ni ati for those of us with product shops, kama shop yako ni a product, then people can order online from you. All you need to do is to just go to YouTube and view the session that we did on online orders and bookings. You'll be able to see how people can be able to book for services from you. Na ukishajua venye people can book, you go forward and advertise. Of course, we did another session on promote your shop and get customers. Utaenda view that session na ujue how can you promote your shop. Promote your shop, definitely people will know about your existence and will start booking. The moment they start booking and making orders, then that is when you're going to have real numbers here and real values here, and you'll be able to always compare. Do I advertise more this month, or what went well, what didn't go well on online there? Then kuna delivery na pickup. Remember, there are always ways in which you can fulfill the orders. One of them is delivery, penye unapelekea mtu, and pickup. Ukiona delivery zako zinaenda chini, you need to ask yourself, am I charging so much? And of course, if you're charging so much, then you can always review that and change the delivery cost. Then there is the peak order time. You're able to ask yourself, what is the peak order time? What is my peak order time? Ni time gani napata most of the orders? Then, of course, there is the customer breakdown. You're able to see how many customers are new and how many customers are returning. If you want to be successful in your business, of course, as you are so far, you need to ensure that you have so many return customers. So ukiona return customers wako chini, then you know there's something wrong about maybe your customer service. Then, of course, there are online order trends, and you're able to see them for the last 3 months there. There is something about the online bookings. Online bookings affect now the people with the services kind of shop. So hapa ndio utakuwa unakuja, if yours is a service kind of shop, for you to be able to see how people are booking for services from you. So utaona the total sales then you make via online bookings, how many bookings have been paid, and what is the average booking cost. And of course, you're able to see how many bookings were completed, how many were scheduled, how many didn't show up, how many people booked but didn't show up altogether. And of course, you're also able to see the performance rates. Ni bookings gapi zikimekiwa, you are able to complete them, na ni ngapi zikimekiwa, customers don't show up altogether. In addition to that, you're to able to see the utilization and lead time. Under utilization and lead time, unaweza kujua ni wakati mgani wana utilize sana kubook, and of course you're also able to see the popular time slot. The popular time slot ni ile time slot yenye most of the customers are booking. So customers wengi wanataka hiyo time slot. So you are able to see it so that you ensure that the service providers are available at that point. You're able to see the top service. Unaweza jua hii service nayo nikikosa kwa shop yangu, then I'm losing so many customers, because you just are able to know that how many customers were booked during that time. You're also able to see that, and the booking trends, you can see that for the last 3 months. Allow me to just go to the month of March, leaving April, because April I have not had bookings. Ukiangalia for the month of March, in this shop, there is one paid booking. So there was 7 bookings altogether. Of course, of the 7, some were show, some were no show. And this is how these graphs, these pie charts will be appearing. So utakuwa unajua ni serve watu wangapi, ni wangapi hawakushow up. And of course, you're also able to see the popular time slots hapo. Kama 1930 or all the way to 1630, unaona 1930 has been booked by 2 people. So that means that time is a popular time slots. Then of course, the top services, unaweza kuona ni gapi zilibukiwa sana. For example, for that month, it was the beard white dye. So most people would want that white dye done for them. And of course, you're able to see that. You're also able to see staff performance. So very important, utaweza kujua which staff is performing well. So you're able to know that the staff Diana was the one who actually made majority of the sales at 199, and of course you are able to see the booking trends as we talked about earlier. So apart from that, inakuonyesha something called the customer insights. Customer insights gives you information about your customer base. How many unique customers have you been able to deal with, and of course unaweza kujua how many repeat purchases zimekuwa. Remember, a customer makes a purchase. So repeat purchases, we mean like huyu customer repeat, amekuja another time. For a customer to be recorded as your customer, lazima akulipe via Tcash ama via M-Pesa, because now the app is able to take their name. If they don't pay via those two methods, digital methods, then the app is not able to recognize that person customer. So you need to know that, and of course encourage your loyal customers to of course have the app so that they are able to pay you using the channel and they can be recognized by the app as customers. Then there is the payment channels percentages. So you're able to see the percentages for the payment channels. The digital payments, for example, were 0%. The cash payments were 100%. So that means that every transaction I made was a cash payment, and that is why the payment distribution is just 100% cash. Nikiangalia transaction count by method, I had 6 transactions. Which were cash, and of course by value, the value of the cash transaction was 4,447. Of course, this is important information to you as a business person. Why am I terming it as important information? Sababu itakusaidia kujua ni jinsi gani inalipwa. Then you're able to know after how long should I bank. I've always asked myself this question: after how long do petrol stations bank? Only to find out that they bank based on the kind of sales they make. So wakimake cash sales, waone wako na pesa mingi, they usually bank. Why do they bank that money? Because cash has so many threats. Unaweza kuja uibiwe and so on. So you need to ensure that you check this so that you know at what time or at what point you need to bank the kind of money that you have. Then there is something on the growth trend, which is very important. You're able to see how your customer base was growing or how your sales were growing in that month. For example, ukiangalia the sales growth for this month are at -100, meaning I've lost the sales completely. I'm not selling. When I start selling, the growth will not be -100. Of course, it becomes a positive value. The customer growth in terms of percentage, you can see it's 0%. And of course, you are able to see how your sales have grown over the last 6 periods and how your customers have grown over your next 6 periods. Seeing the customer growth is something very important because you are able to know whether you need to advertise more or you should be comfortable with the kind of strategies that you're making in terms of advertising, in terms of advertisement. Because if you're not getting new customers, all you need to know is that there are some people who don't know what you do. Therefore, you get to advertise and you get to let them know that this is what I do and show them your existence. And of course, you will stand high chances of benefiting from them coming to buy services from you. That is good. Now, allow me to also take you through the inventory and services. So the inventory and services shows you data about the product that you have been selling so fast. So it gives you something about the best and the worst sold. So ukiangalia, for example, the fastest growing item is none, but the least sold is the beard white dye. So because we sold 2 of them together with the school hair trim, we sold 2 of them. The gel pedicure were 2. The beard trim were also 2. So you're able to see ni product gani imekuwa ikiuza sana. So you ensure that that product does not miss, because when it misses, then you're going to lose some business because some people will be coming seeking for that top service. Because ukiona watu wananunua kitu sana, it means it's trending in some way. you know, our Kenyan culture where something trends and everybody wants to buy that thing. So unaweza kujua what you need to have in your business at any given point. Then the category share, you're also able to see which categories were selling most. So for example, kuna time inafikanga shule zinafungwa. During that season, kuna kuanga na some products zenye huwa tunauza sana. And then there is another season waka shule kufunguliwa, especially those of us here who own the kind of businesses that deal with school going students. You're able to know wakati shule inafunguliwa kama unauza school uniform, then that is the time you sell most. Wakati shule zinafungwa, you barely make a sale. So that is generally what the categorization would help you know, so that you're able to plan yourself accordingly at any given point. So, of course, finally, there is something on benchmarking, which is also a very important tool. So, the benchmarking tool helps you compare your business with other businesses within your locality. Why is this important? Why do I need to benchmark? I need to benchmark so that nikisema that I'm not making sales today, then it is true I'm not making sales. Nikisema that people are not buying specific products, I'm able to say it with confidence because I can refer and see data for other shops. So hii benchmarking huwa inakusaidia kujua how other shops within your region are operating or are doing business in comparison to your business on this other end. So for example, if you look at this, I sold 100% less than similar businesses this month. So the number of customers I sold to are 0. The similar businesses sold to 0 customers. But ukiangalia for the period of January, I sold to 0, but similar businesses sold to 2. There were 2 similar businesses similar businesses made 2 transactions. So that means I am not doing well. Ukiangalia kwa category ranking, within the 5-kilometer radius, my business is number 15. What does number 15 mean? That there are some businesses that are doing better than myself. There are how many businesses within my location? 42 similar businesses. But what is my ranking? 15. So that means I need to pull my socks. I need to ensure that I upgrade the way I do business for me to stand a chance to get a competitive edge in the market. And of course, you're able to see your percentage within a 5-kilometer radius. So I'm on top 32% within a 5-kilometer radius from where my business is located. So what have we learned in this session? We have learned that the app does not only keep the receipts for you, it provides you with records that can help you track your performance. If you track your performance better, you are able to know how your business is operating. You're able to know the items that are selling faster. You're able to know the busiest time period in your business. And of course, you're able to see how is your ranking within a 5-kilometer radius. Ndio tukisema that, by the way, biashara yangu iko chini, it is not just your biashara, but all the biashara within your subsector and within your location. So this brings us to the end of our session: receipts, records, and performance tracking. It is my hope that now you can better view your records and, of course, make decisions based on the performance tracking that you have done for your business. You need to track the performance of your business for you to implement and make positive decisions that can yield profit to your business. Remember what we said at the beginning of the session: the Tcash Soko app did not come to change the way we do business. It came to bring efficiency in our business by, of course, helping us have clear, well-established records. And when we have these well-established records, of course, tuna benefit by having an easier way of tracking our performance. In case you have any question on how you can access the receipts, records, and of course, track your performance, kindly feel free to get back to me via the comment section below. I'll be more than willing to respond to your questions as soon as I see them. Thank you and have a great evening. See you in our last session of the week. Prepare for future credit and stock financing. Thank you.